SPSS, Statistical Package for Social Science, which is research software which is helping all the social science researchers to pursue their research. And our guest, Dr. S. Venkateswaran sir, is a very eminent person. He is an able academician, a renowned academic scholar, consistent researcher, having a wide reach of 30 years of academic experience. And he is with us today, and he is going to explain about these SPSS. So we have coined this FDP program, this webinar program, for 3 days. So for the past 3 days, from 28th onwards to 30th, from 10 to 11, our sir is going to cherish us with his expertise and knowledge in SPSS. So on behalf of the Department of Commerce, Parvati's Arts and Science College management, principal, vice principal, and students, I extend my red carpet welcome to our esteemed chief guest, Dr. S. Venkateswaran sir, and formally I welcome Professor L. Prakash Kannan, Assistant Professor of Commerce, to give away the formal welcome address. Prakash Kannan, you can take the session. Give away the welcome address.
Good morning, viewers. It's my immense pleasure to welcome you all for this wonderful online session. First of all, I would like to welcome our eminent chief guest, Dr. S. Venkateswaran sir, Associate Professor and
Prakash, it is not that much audible. You can talk louder.
These are having good administrative experience. So I welcome her on behalf of our management. Good morning, viewers. Participants. It's my immense pleasure to welcome you all for this wonderful online session.
Now you can take over your seat.
First of all, I would like to welcome our eminent chief guest, Dr. S. Venkateswaran sir,
Now it's
Associate Professor and Head, Manda Thirumalai. Welcome you, sir. Next, I would like to welcome our Secretary, sir, Dr. Praveen sir, Principal Dr. S. Kumar sir, Vice Dr. Srinivas, our Head of the Department, Munendran sir, for the wonderful guidance to organize the webinar in a successful manner. Next, I would like to welcome the online course coordinator, B. Satyabhama madam, and our lab technicians, Susai sir and Vijay Kumar sir, to make their arrangements for this webinar. Welcome you, sir and ma'am. Last but not least, I welcome all the participants for this webinar. Once again, I welcome you all.
Thank you, Prakash Kannan. I am very happy to see all nearly 393 participants have joined our session today, and I hope that today's session will be highly vibrant and useful. I welcome all the participants. So the participants, if you have any doubts, you can interact through the chat box with the last minute. So all the staff members, all the participants, you are expected to participate for all the 3 sessions, and we'll be sending a feedback link at the end of the session after 3 days. And only when you fill up the feedback, you will be taken into, you will be given an e-certificate. And every day we are taking attendance. So those who are attending for consecutively for 3 days alone will be taken for certificate. Okay. So please cooperate with us, and I'm very happy to see 393 participants all around various places. They are very many professors, very many senior persons are there with us. I think this program will be highly productive and it will be fruitful. And I welcome our chief guest, Dr. S. Venkateswaran sir, to take up this session. Welcome, sir. Please take over the session, sir.
Is it visible, sir? Hello?
Yes.
Shall I proceed?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can proceed, sir.
Okay. Good morning to all. Today I am going to explain some theoretical aspect about the data analysis. After that, we have to see how the data analysis can be made by using SPSS. First, we have to understand what is data analysis. See, after collection of data, we have to manipulate the data to get the meaningful information. That process is said to be a data analysis. So, we have to, after collection of the data, we have to convert into in a meaningful form. That process is data analysis. The following are the stages of data analysis. That is editing, coding, data entry, and data analysis. First, we have to see what is editing. Editing refers, see, in your questionnaire or interview schedule, while taking the data analysis, we have to remove the unnecessary information. Say, for example, first in the first item is the name. That is not useful for analysis. So we have to remove that one. And some options we include in the questionnaire or interview schedule, that is others. We can remove at the time of data analysis. So we have to remove the unnecessary information in the questionnaire. That process is said to be editing. Then second step is coding. What is coding? Some assignment of numerical values to the labels. Say, for example, male, you take that the gender. You have to assign 1 to male and 2 to female. That process is said to be coding. Then data entry. After coding, we have to transform the information in the questionnaire to the computer. That process is said to be data entry. That process of transforming the data from research project to the computers. That is data entry. Last one is data analysis. See, in the data analysis, we have to see some basic concepts. First one is population. Population refers collection of all individuals or objects or items under study and denoted by N. Then sample, that is part of population and denoted by small n. Then variable. Variable refers characteristics of an individual or object. Then parameter, characteristics of the population is said to be a parameter. Statistic, that is that refers characteristics of the sample. That is said to be a statistic. These are some concepts we have to understand about that data analysis. Then the data analysis, there are two broad categories in the data analysis. First one is descriptive statistics. Another one is inferential statistics. Now let me tell about what is descriptive statistics. If you describe the data, what actually is, but that is done by summarization and description of data. That is a descriptive statistics. The descriptive statistics presents data using graphs, table, and numbers such as averages, measures of variation, and percentiles. Second broad category is inferential statistics. Inferential statistics consist of methods for drawing generalization and prediction about population based on information obtained from a sample population. See, there are two primary methods for making inference, that are estimation and hypothesis testing. Once again, I show that inferential statistics with a diagrammatic way. This is the statistical inference. There are two methods of inferential statistics, that is estimation. Another one is hypothesis testing. Estimation is refers that estimate the about the parameter on the basis of sample. That is the estimate may be single number or interval value, and another one is hypothesis testing. Hypothesis testing, we have to evaluate that hypothesis about the parameter on the basis of sample data. That is hypothesis testing. Now we are going to see what are the various steps to be followed in the hypothesis testing in detail. First, what is hypothesis? Hypothesis is number assumption population. That is said to be a hypothesis. Purpose of hypothesis testing. The purpose of hypothesis testing is to determine whether there is enough statistical evidence in favor of certain belief about a parameter. See, Actually, what is, see, we take the assumption about that population, then we have to test whether the statistical data supports that assumption. That is the purpose of hypothesis testing. Then, example, suppose I am taking the class. I am going to see whether my coaching class is effective or not. That is the hypothesis. That is one of the hypotheses. The procedure for testing hypothesis is there are 5 steps. First one is set up a hypothesis, set up a suitable level of significance, setting a test criterion, doing computation, and making decision. These are the various steps to be followed in the procedure of hypothesis testing. Let me tell about one by one in detail. First, set up the hypothesis. In that scenario, you have to understand there are 2 types of hypothesis. First is null hypothesis, other is alternate hypothesis. The general format of null hypothesis is there is no significant difference in observed and expected data on a particular phenomenon. That is the general format of null hypothesis. Opposite to this, that is alternative hypothesis, that is statement contrary to null hypothesis. I will explain with the example. I say in the setup a hypothesis, first we have to hypothesizing. First we have to set up the null hypothesis. That why you have to set the null hypothesis? That is akin to the legal principle that a man is innocent until his guilty has been proved. So, following that principle, first we have to set the null hypothesis. Null means no difference. Say for example, my class is effective or not. See, for that purpose, I may conduct a test before I taking class, and I may conduct a test after taking class. Suppose there is no difference between before mark and after mark. That is, suppose a person, a student score 5 marks before my coaching class and also 5 marks after my coaching class. There is no difference between before mark and after mark. Now you have to see whether my coaching class is effective or not. Because both marks are same, no. But that is why my coaching class is not effective. That is null hypothesis, because the general format of null hypothesis is there is no significant difference between observed data and expected data. That is why there is no significant difference between before marks scored by a student, after my coaching class that marks scored by student. So that null hypothesis is there is no, my coaching class is not effective. That is the null hypothesis. Yeah. So then next we have to understand what is the level of significance. See, normally while testing the hypothesis, we take it as a 5% level or 1% level. Most of the researchers don't know about what is 1% or 5%. So let me explain in detail. Suppose there are 2 types of errors while testing the hypothesis. That is type 1 error and type 2 error. See, what is type 1 error? See, type 1 error refers that hypothesis is true, and if we reject that hypothesis, that is type 1 error. What is type 2 error? Accepting the null hypothesis when it is false. That is type 2 error. Actually, the type 1 error, type 2 errors have the inverse relation. If one error increases, another one error decreases. Type 1 error increases, type 2 error decreases, and vice versa. So, both have inverse relations. But in our objective of hypothesis testing, we have to minimize the errors as maximum as possible. So, if you keep the type 1 error 0 level, the type 2 error will increase. The type 2 error is more dangerous than type 1 error. So, in order to reduce the type 2 error, we have to keep the type 1 error to a certain extent. So, if you increase the type 1 error from 0 to 1%, the type 2 error will come down. So we have to take the intersection point between the type 1 error and the type 2 error. That is the minimum point. That is the level of significance. In our hypothesis testing, what is level of significance? That is probability of type 1 error. That is alpha. That may either be 1% or 5%. That is the level of significance. You can see, you can understand all these things from this slide. That is the level of significance. Actually, that level of significance is probability of type 1 error. That is alpha. We have to keep that alpha to a certain extent in our hypothesis testing. That may either 1% or 2%, 5%. But it is better to take 5%. That is the level of significance. Next, setting the test criterion. Third step of hypothesis testing is setting the test criterion. See, actually, this is the difficult part in the hypothesis testing. We have to choose the opt test criterion which is suitable our purpose of hypothesis testing. That is very difficult, but by practice it will become very easier. So we have to test opt test criterion. Suppose most of the researcher asked me, sir, please apply as maximum as possible that statistical test for research. It's not a suitable one. We have to apply the opt test on the basis of our objective of hypothesis testing. That is the correct. See, for that purpose, we have to understand the type of data and parametric versus non-parametric. We have to understand something about all these things. Then only we can choose the opt criteria of the test. First, we have to understand what is types of data. Various types of data. Actually, there are 4 types of data: nominal data, ordinal data, interval data, and ratio data. There are 4 types. You have to understand clearly about all these things. Then only we can choose which type of test we can take for our research. First, you take nominal data. The assignment of numerical values to the labels is said to be a nominal data. Please remember, assignment of numerical values to the labels is said to be a nominal data. Say, for example, if you take gender, there may be 2 categories, one male, another female. For male, 1 may assigned to male, 2 may assigned to female. That process, see, that is said to be a nominal data. If you are assigned the numerical values to the labels, is said to be a nominal data. You have to remember it. That is also said to be a categorical data also. Nominal data is also called as categorical data. Second one is ordinal data. Ordinal data is nothing but just a rank of the data. See, all of you know about how to rank your marks. See, you take 3 marks are there: 100, 99, 70. In that case, you can assign first rank to 100, second rank to 99, third rank to 70. Here you have to see the difference between first rank and second rank. The first rank and second rank difference is 1. And second rank and third rank, the difference is nearly 29. See here, how much of difference is not important. The order of data is important. Order is important. So, order of the ordinal data refers the ranking of the data. That is said to be ordinal data. Then, third one is interval data. See, interval data, suppose the 2 adjacent units different same in all cases, then it is said to be a interval data. Say, for example, temperature, see, all the 10 degrees Celsius, 11 degrees Celsius, 12 degrees Celsius, all are equal to that are 1. So, 2 adjacent difference are same, and there is no origin. This origin means so. It is to be data. Temperature, there is no origin. Even the temperature go below the zero, that is minus degrees, or more than zero, that is positive degrees. So there is we cannot say zero is the starting point for temperature. So if there is no zero as origin and two adjacent units are same difference, then it is said to be say interval data. Then last one is ratio data. The one difference is
Sorry for the inconvenience. Some of the technical problem. Let me wait just a minute. இல்ல போயிட்டு இருந்துச்சு அவருடைய இது போயிடுச்சு சார்.
ஆமா சார்.
சார்
ஃபோன் பண்ணி வச்சிருக்காரு.
ஐடி பாஸ்வேர்ட்
அன்மியூட் பண்ணி வச்சிருக்காரு.
சார் நீங்க மியூட் பண்ணுங்க, அன்மியூட் பண்ணுங்க.
வீடியோ வரல.
இப்ப கேக்குதா?
கேக்குது சார், கேக்குது.
ரைட், கண்டினியூ பண்ணலாமா? ரைட்,
கண்டினியூ பண்ணலாம் சார்.
right. After knowing that type of data, we have to understand that our data belongs to parametric category or non-parametric category. After that only we can decide which type of test criterion we have to choose. So we have to understand about the parametric or non-parametric determination. In case where the data which are measured by interval or ratio scale come from normal distribution and the population variance are equal, then you have to choose the parametric test only. In case the data is nominal or ordinal and assumption about the parametric tests are inappropriate, then non-parametric tests are used. So while testing the best test criteria, we have to understand about our data belongs to which category, whether it is a nominal or ordinal or interval or ratio, and also our data belongs to which type of, that is whether parametric or non-parametric. Then only we can choose the opt criteria for data analysis. So if you understand all these things in clear way, then only we can choose the opt criteria for data analysis. That is very, very important one. And here I have listed some statistical tests depending upon the objective and the data type. You have to go through it. That is clearly you can understand for what purpose, for what test criterion can be used. Our next stage is doing computation. See, that is the fourth step of hypothesis testing. Yes, by using the test criterion, using that data, we have to find the critical value. See, applying the test, we have to find the calculated value, that is critical value. That critical value, what is critical value? The value needed to determine whether to reject or not to reject the null hypothesis. But how to determine this value? That value has to be calculated by using the test criterion. So, by using the test criterion, we have to find the calculated value that is said to be a critical value. Last step is method decision making. There are two methods of decision making. One is rejection region method. Another one is p-value method. The rejection region method is said to be a traditional method. While working in the hypothesis testing manually, we have to find the calculated value. Then on the basis of degrees of freedom, we have to fix the table value. By comparing the table value with the calculated value, we have to make the decision making. That is rejection region method of decision making. Now that is not useful for here because we are going to SPSS, that is statistical package for social science. For that, while taking the decision, we have to use the p-value method, which is mostly used when statistical software is available. So rejection method, that is not useful as for now. We have to use the p-value method. In the what is p-value? P-value is the smallest level for which the null hypothesis is rejected. If the p-value is less than alpha, that is level of significance, we could take that level of significance as 0.05 or 0.01, depending upon 5% or 1%. So on that basis, we have to take the decision making. If p-value is less than 0.05, we have to reject our null hypothesis. Otherwise, we have to accept our null hypothesis. That is the procedure for taking decision on the basis of p-value. I will show an example. See, actually, this is the SPSS output here. That is 20.150. That is the critical value. Actually, see 0.000. That is the p-value. So here we have to take decisions on the basis of that p-value. In the first case, that is change in self-confidence. That is what is the p-value? That is 0.000. That is less than 0.05. So first case we have to reject the null hypothesis. For second case also 0.004. Here also we have to reject our null hypothesis. Third case, the p-value is 0.062. That is more than 0.05. So in the third case, we have to accept our null hypothesis. And fourth and fifth case, we have to reject our null hypothesis. So in this way, we have to take the decision making on the basis of p-value, while output that assumed significant, no, that is the taken as a p-value. So now the theory part is over. Now let me tell you about something. If you take that questionnaire and how to enter this value in the Excel sheet. First, that is a preparation of master table. See, so I take a small question and I want to explain how to enter that questionnaire data in the Excel sheet first. Then we will go for SPSS. See, you see that this is the actual questionnaire. There is name, age, gender, residential place. There are the metro, town, village, money spent per month, income, ranking of aim in life. That is, we have to rank that money, enjoyment, peace, others on the basis of your. This is small questionnaire. Now let me tell about how to enter this questionnaire, how to transform the information available in the questionnaire to the Excel sheet first. Then from Excel sheet, we have to send that information to the questionnaire, that is import data in the Excel sheet to the SPSS data. I will explain later. First, we have to see how to enter this information in the Excel sheet. See, now I want to open a new blank Excel sheet. See, this is the blank Excel sheet. See, in the first row, you have to type the heading. In the corner, the name is not essential for data analysis. We have to remove. This process is set to basic editing. Then second item, age. So in age, first here you have to type age. The heading, then gender, what is the second is gender, then residential place. You have to type gender, then residential place, like that. Suppose you have to type all the headings first. Then suppose a respondent enter age as a 56, you have to enter 56. Gender, suppose he clicked as a female, then you have to type 2. Residential place, there are 3 categories, 1, 2, 3. One town, second one is one town, 1 metro, 2 town, 3 village. So you have to type 3, 1 or 2, 3. Like that, you have to enter one by one. Now I want to show that entered data. Sir, that screen sharing worked, sir? Sir? Hello?
Sir, it is working, sir.
It is working, sir.
Okay. Okay, I have entered here 50 data in the Excel sheet on the basis of that before set questionnaire. See, age, gender, residential place, money spent in month. Like that, you have to enter all the data in the Excel sheet. See, this Excel sheet I have entered in the sheet 1. Near about how many data are entered? 51 data are I entered. See, 50 data, because first row represents the that heading, no. So here, after entering the data, you have to save that file. Otherwise, we cannot import that file to the SPSS. So first, we have to, after entering the Excel sheet, you have to save as and save the data in the desktop. After that, you have to close it. See, if you not closing that data Excel sheet, we cannot import two SPSS. So I will show screen sharing. Yes, stop. Okay. Now, after entering the data, I have to save in the sheet in the desktop. After that, I have to open that SPSS. Now only we are going to see how to analyze the data by using SPSS. For that, we have to open the SPSS. You have to open all programs and you have to click that IBM SPSS, then click to SPSS 22, whatever may be, you can get the data, SPSS data like this. Sir, that is visible, sir? Hello?
Yes, sir. It is
That
visible.
is SPSS data editor visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. See, actually, this is the SPSS editor. If you open, then it will appear like this. That is SPSS editor. Here, we have already stored that data file, no Excel. We have to open it. First, click File. Click File, open, then Data. A box will appear. Here we have to open. We are going to open the Excel sheet. That is, so we see that file type. Here SPSS statistics. Now, if you click here, there is a dialog box will appear. You have to choose that Excel sheet because we are going to open the Excel sheet. That is after that where we have to store, that is in desktop. Desktop. This data for questionnaire. I have saved that data as data for questionnaire here. So I have to now open. So see, if already open, no, that is open, that will not here because it will error like this. So that first we have to close that Excel sheet. Already opened the Excel sheet, we have to close it.
Sir?
Sir?
Slow.
என்ன சார் சரியா தெரியலையா?
இல்ல சார், கொஞ்சம் ஸ்லோவா இருக்கு நெட். அடுத்த ஸ்லைடு ஒன்று.
நெட் ஸ்லோவா இருக்கா?
சார் நீங்க அடுத்த SPSS ஸ்லைடு
வேற
ஆகல. எங்களுக்கு வருது.
எக்ஸல் ஷீட் வியூ ஆகுதா?
இல்ல சார், எக்ஸல் ஷீட் இன்னும் வரல.
இப்போ ஓஹோ, இப்போ சார் இப்போ எக்ஸல் ஷீட் வியூ ஆகுதா? ஹலோ?
இல்ல சார், வெயிட் பண்ணுங்க, ஒரு 2 நிமிஷம் வெயிட் பண்ணுங்க, ஷீட் மாறும்.
அம்மா, இந்த பாண்டியராஜன் ஹலோ.
ஓகே சார், ஸ்லைட் ஸ்லோவா இருக்கு, நீங்க சார் கண்டினியூ பண்ணுங்க. கொஞ்சம் ஸ்லோவா சொன்னீங்கன்னா ரிப்பீட் ஆகும்போது கொஞ்சம் ஈஸியா இருக்கும்.
சரி, ரைட்.
ஓகேங்க சார்.
Suppose we want to import the Excel data, first we have to close that Excel sheet, close and save on the desktop. So we have to close that Excel sheet and only we can import that Excel sheet to the SPSS data.
ஆமா.
Hello?
சார்
Hello?
சார், உங்களோட பிபிடி பிரசன்டேஷனை க்ளோஸ் பண்ணீங்களா?
PPT close ஆயிருச்சா? இல்லையா என்னன்னா?
பிபிடி நீங்க எக்ஸல் ஷீட் ஓபன் பண்ணுங்க சார்.
நான் அதாவது SPSS டேட்டா தான் ஓபன் பண்ணேன்னா.
ஓகேங்க சார், ஃபர்ஸ்ட்
SPSS
பண்ணுங்க.
இல்ல எதுவும் இப்ப அந்த ஹலோ.
சார், இன்னும் வந்து பிபிடி எங்களுக்கு க்ளோஸ் ஆகும். நீங்க பிபிடியை க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா வெயிட் பண்ணுங்க. உங்களோட
பிபிடி ஷேர் பண்ணி தான் இருக்கு.
ஓகேங்க சார், இங்க வந்து
இப்ப தெரியுதா சார் பிபிடி?
வாட் இஸ் யுவர் கிரிட்டிக்கல் வேல்யூ சார்?
அது தெரியுதா?
வாட் இஸ் கிரிட்டிக்கல் வேல்யூ தெரியும். நீங்க F5 கீ கொடுத்து ஃபுல் ஸ்கிரீன் கொண்டு வந்துருங்க சார்.
ரைட்.
ஓகேங்க சார்.
இல்ல அது க்ளோஸ் பண்ணி அதெல்லாம் முடிஞ்சிருச்சு. இப்ப நான் வந்து SPSS தான் ஓபன் பண்ணோம்.
ஓகேங்க சார், யூஸ் பண்ணுங்க சார்.
SPSS ஓபன் SPSS
சார்
அந்த SPSS ஓபன் பண்ணி காமிக்கிறேன் சார்.
ஓபன் ஆயிடுச்சு சார், ஆனா ஃபுல் ஸ்கிரீன் இன்னும் வரல.
வரலையா? என்ன ரீசன் சார்? இது இப்ப வந்துருச்சா?
சார்
சார் இப்ப தெரியுதா சார் SPSS?
SPSS ஓபன் ஆயிடுச்சு சார், பட் அந்த ஃபுல் ஸ்கிரீன் வரல.
ஓ, நான் வேற எதுவும் பண்ணணுமா?
ரெஃப்ரெஷ் பண்ணுங்க சார்.
சரி சார்.
சார் கரெக்டா ஷேர் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா சார்?
ஷேர் பண்ணி தான் இருக்கு. ரெஸ்யூம் ஷேர்.
இப்போ ஓகே சார். ஓகே சார்.
இந்த ஒரு நிமிஷம் இருந்து இது பண்ணிடுறேன். ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேரிங் வாஸ் ஆஃப்.
ஷேரிங் சரியா ஆகலைங்க சார்.
ஷேரிங் சரியா திருப்பி நான் இது பண்றேன் சார். கொஞ்சம் இப்ப வருதா சார்? ஹலோ.
ஓகே சார்.
இப்ப வருதுல்ல? ஆனா எனக்கு இங்க ஒர்க் ஆகலையே. எனக்கு சார் இது மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் இது தெரிய மாட்டேங்குது. இத அந்த SPSS வந்து சரியா நான் க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிட்டு திருப்பி ஓபன் பண்ணிக்கிறவா அந்த SPSS மட்டும்?
ஓகேங்க சார், ஓகேங்க சார்.
ஹலோ, இந்த ஒரு நிமிஷம் இருங்க சார், நான் திருப்பி ஓபன் பண்றேன்.
ஓகேங்க சார்.
சரிங்க.
சார்
வந்துட்டேன் சார்.
ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேர் பண்ணி
உள்ள வந்து சார் நான் கண்டினியூ பண்ணலாமா?
டாடா ஸ்கிரீன் சார். சார் வெயிட் சார், ஒரு நிமிஷம் சார்.
இன்னும் வரலையா?
சார் இப்போ வந்துருச்சு.
ஃபைன் சார்.
இப்போ கண்டினியூ பண்ணுங்க சார்.
Right. Sorry. Okay. Now let me tell about how to import the Excel data to the SPSS. SPSS. First, you have to click the first option, that is file. You have to then open data. A dialog box will appear here. You have to change that file type to Excel. Then where we have to store that in desktop. So we have to source, we have to change the desktop. I have entered here, that is data to questionnaire. You have to click and click open. Then a box will appear. Our data entered in the sheet 1. So you have to select that sheet 1. Then click OK. That data what entered there appeared here.
Participants, please don't write anything on the screen. Okay, if you want to get anything, you please type it in the chat box. Don't write it on the screen. It's a humble request from us.
Okay. Now that data is visible.
Yes, sir. It's visible, sir.
Okay. Now see, actually what entered in the Excel now imported to SPSS editor. See, actually we can directly enter in the SPSS editor, but that is somewhat difficult. We have to follow some rules and regulations.
So please don't write anything in this screen. Okay, sir. Please continue, sir.
Okay. In the Excel sheet, that is very user friendly. We can enter data in easy manner. Then we can import the data from Excel to the SPSS editor. That is very easy. Now, what actually data entered in the Excel is appeared in the SPSS editor. Now, that is here. To understand, I have already told you that data type, whether it is a nominal or ordinal or interval, ratio, parametric versus non-parametric. All, if you understand all these things, now let me study data analysis using SPSS. First we have to describe what data is. That is descriptive statistics. In that sense, first you take that age. Here you have to decide. We have to consolidate the given data. That is the first stage of data analysis. If you see the data, whether it is which type of, whether that age belongs to which type, whether it is a nominal data or ordinal data, interval data or ratio data. See, but all of you got some confusion. Some may assume that as a nominal, they're ordinal or interval or ratio like that. So, see, we have to clearly understand about that age is belongs to which category, that is nominal ordinal or interval or ratio. Actually, that age is ratio data. For ratio data, in order to consolidation, we have to find average and standard deviation. For how to find the average and standard deviation, let me explain about that. First, you have to click here. A pull down menu will appear. Then second option, that is descriptive statistics. If you click descriptive statistics, another pull down menu will appear. In that sense, we have the second option, click second option. That is descriptives. If you click the descriptives, you can get a dialog box. Here we want to describe the age now. So you have to click age and push as a variable here. Right side, you have to push it. Then you have to click OK. Here, I thought all of you see that output. That is descriptive statistics. See, the ratio data, we can describe that by taking the average and the standard deviation. So, in our data, the age, how many sample size, that is 50. Our age, minimum age entered, there is 23. Maximum age is 65, and mean 41.64, that is the average. Standard deviation of the age is 13.726. This is the now we have to consolidate our data. That is descriptive statistics. Because ratio data, we find average and standard deviation. If it is a nominal data, we have to find frequency. Like that, we have to consolidate it. Now, you see that the second data is gender. Here, we entered 1 as a male, 2 as a female. How to, whether gender belongs to which category? Sir, anything?
No, sir, you can proceed, sir.
For gender, there are two, either male or female. Male represented by 1, female represented by 2. So the gender is a nominal data. For nominal data, this you have to find frequency. Like a way, we have to decide which analysis we have to carry out. See, in the case of nominal data, for want of describing it, we have to take analyze. The second option, that is descriptive statistics, and that is frequency. You have to click the frequency, the box will appear. Here, gender, then residential place. The both are nominal data. We have to push to the right side of that box because I have to push both variable, that is gender and residential place, because both are nominal data. We have to, for consolidating this, we have to find the frequency. For that, so I have to transfer that both variables here. Okay, you can get, see, I thought all of you see that gender residential, that refers male to refers female. See, in our data collection, there are 33 males are there, then 17 females are there. In residential place, there are 19 reside at metro, 22 at another category. See, in this way, for nominal data, we have to find the frequency. Then you see the data type. Next one is money spent and income. These both are the ratio data. The ratio, how to consolidate that ratio data, we have to find descriptives. that is mean and standard deviation. That is that, yeah, if you age will like this, you select that income and money spent, because these both are the ratio data. In order to consolidate it, we have to find the descriptive statistics. For the collected data, money spent minimum 1,460, maximum 5,400, mean 2,647.20, and the standard deviation is this. For income, that minimum, maximum, mean, and standard deviation are available. So on the basis of that nature of the data, we have to describe the data like this or consolidate data like this. If it is a nominal or ordinal, we have to find the frequency. In the case of interval, in the case of ratio data, we have to consolidate it. We have to find the mean and standard deviation, that is descriptive statistics. See, in this case, I want to tell how make the labels here. That label appear here. For instead of 1, suppose we want to see 1 and 2, we don't know about what is 1 and what is 2. To make appear, to make appearance that male and female, we have to make adjustment here. For that purpose, here there are their variable view, their view and variable view. In case you have to click variable view. In that case, gender, there is second, that is gender. You have to move the cursor like this to label, then click here, a box will appear. Here, if you type the value is 1, what is the label? Male. You have to type male and add, then type 2, we have to female, add. Okay, then okay. Like that, residential place. First one is metro. Metro, add. Second one is town. Town, add. Then third is village. Village. Okay. After adjusting something about variable view, if you run like this, custom, that is descriptive, then find the frequencies, then gender and the residential place. Then if you click the OK, now you see you can get that is male, female clearly. So to make to appear that label here, we have to make adjustment in the variable view like this: male, female. Here metro, town, and village. We can clearly understand for metro how many number of residents are there. In town, how many are there? Village, how many of them are there? So we can understand all these things. Like that, we can make that label, make appear the labels in the that output case. Now let me tell about. Suppose see, there is a column that is we are ranked on the basis of some importance. See that questionnaire, that is ranked data, that is aim in life A, aim in life B, aim in life C, aim in life D. that is money, enjoyment, peace, and others. On the basis of your importance, you have to rank, ask it to rank that. So that ranks are there. How can we consolidate that ranked data? See whether it is a nominal or ordinal. We have to for consolidation to find the frequency only, or that analyze. See, in the case of group descriptive statistics, we have prepared the custom tables. Okay, there is box will appear here. You have to select aim in life A, B, C, D. Then you have to, by using the mouse, you have to drag, you have to select all the 4 and drag this column here like this. Then you have to change the default to row. Row. Place custom table. Sir, sir. Hello.
Sir, கேக்குதுங்க சார்.
Sir, சார் ஒன்றும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை, தெரியுதுல்ல. யாரோ அதாவது இந்த ஸ்கிரீன்ல யாரோ
இல்ல அதான் சொல்லிட்டே இருக்கேன் சார், கேட்க மாட்டேங்கிறாங்க. டோன்ட் ஸ்கிரிபிள் இன் தி ஸ்கிரீன் ப்ளீஸ். Participants, a humble request from us. Don't scribble in the screen. The speaker is getting disturbed. அதுல உள்ள figures எல்லாம் தெரிய மாட்டேங்குது. Don't scribble in the screen. So okay sir, we can continue sir.
Hello. Sir, okay.
We can continue sir.
After that, okay. In the case of ordinal data, we have to differentiate in the single table. For that, we have to analyze then custom table. Third option, you have to click third option, custom table, custom tables. Okay. Table box will be here. In that case, இப்பதான் சரியா இருக்கு சார். By selecting the ordinal and drag to this here like this. Then you have to change that category position to row labels in column. And here default there is a column position. We have to change it as a row. Then summary statistics. So to click that summary statistics option, we have to find the percentage, So you have to go in percentage and push right side, then apply to selection, then categories, total, okay. Then if you click OK, then you can get this here consolidation table here. That is aim life. A is money. A means money. B means enjoyment. C means peace. D means others. On basis of import, this is ranked. See, among the 50 respondents, 25 gave first rank for money, and the second rank, 5 respondents gave second rank, 10 respondents gave third rank, 10 respondents gave fourth rank, total 50. See, sir, shall I take 100 minutes?
Okay, sir.
So, another 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, no problem, sir. You can carry on, sir.
Okay. Now, give me a point. Here, there are here, town village. There is a amount spent in a month, like that. Suppose we want to see and with regard to income and money, how much, what is the average of amount spent by females? What is the average of amount spent by male? I want to see how to find out. For that purpose, first you click that fourth option, that is data. You click that data, then that is from last to 5, that is split file. Yeah, option is split file. First click it, will appear. Then you have to click that split file. Then there is a box will appear. Here, analyze all cases. Output by groups. So if you click that output by groups, that box will blink. Then you, sir, hello. Right, sir. I wait for that. நாளைக்கு இத கண்டினியூ பண்ணிக்கிறோம். Right. Okay, thank you. Tomorrow we will discuss. Now the question session starts.
If there is any questions, you can please put it in the chat box.
So somebody's asked, what do you mean by interval data?
But interval data.
Yes, sir.
Interval data. two adjacent units are same. Say for example, the texture, you take the texture, 10 degrees Celsius, 11 Celsius, 12 Celsius, 13 degrees Celsius, 14. See, if you take any two adjacent units, difference are same. But same time there is no origin. That is origin not zero. The best example for interval data is temperature. Because if you take the origin, the temperature will not go below that zero. But naturally, the temperature may be -10, -12 like that. So the temperature data is the best example of interval data. The two conditions, there is no origin zero. Another one is two adjacent units are same. The difference between two adjacent units are same. That is the interval data. Clear, sir?
Okay, sir.
Uh,
What do you mean by
Another person have asked whether can we use SPSS 11.5 version.
See, that is very old. If you no problem. Now 23, 24 sir, is better than that 11.5.
Sir, another
Any
question
other
is there.
question?
How to transfer data to SPSS from Excel? Is there any need to transfer
Shall I
data?
repeat? One again I will tell. See, after entering the data in the Excel, we have to save that Excel sheet in the desktop or anywhere, and we have to close it. If you don't close it, we cannot import that Excel sheet to the SPSS. So first close that sheet. After opening the SPSS, click file. First option, click file. Then open. Click another pull down menu appear. You have to click the data. A box, that box will appear. After applying that box, you have to that file type to Excel. If you click the corner, then all the files type available to Excel. Then after that, you have to you have to choose that source of data. Here your data is stored. For example, desktop. If you click at you click at desktop, that Excel file will appear. Is cheaply available. You have to use the data questionnaire, then open. Then we have to which Excel sheet our data is available. For this, that is sheet 1. Then if you click OK, you can see that all the data are imported to SPSS. Here, sir.
Okay, one person is asking how
Hello?
to import data from Google Form to SPSS.
Google Form, I don't know, madam.
Okay, sir.
I have no idea about that. How to-
Hari, if you know, you can share. Hari,
Yes, sir.
how to import data from Google Form to SPSS or Excel, you can tell.
It is very easy, sir. Google Forms containing a Excel. In your response place, you're finding an Excel sheet. You will be exporting the Excel sheet and using the. It is very.
Okay, and sir told how to save the Excel data to SPSS. So it can be done like this. Okay. Then any other questions, sir? One person is asking to explain p-value.
P-value.
Yes, sir.
That is the smallest value at which our null hypothesis is rejected. See, I will show that example. See here. See the now visible, madam. That table visible, madam. Hello?
Yes.
Madam, see in this table, that is assumed significant, that is the p-value. That p-value is nothing but the minimum value at which we have to reject our null hypothesis. But at the same time, tolerance level of significance, that is 5% or 1%. If you take that 5%, we should take as a 0.05 as the cutoff value. If the p-value is less than the cutoff value, that is 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis. But the case 0.062, that is actually that means 6.2% only the null hypothesis is rejected, but our tolerance level is 5%. So in that case, we have to accept our null hypothesis. That what the p-value means, that p-value is the minimum value which the null hypothesis is rejected. That will shown by the SPSS, but our tolerance level is 0.05%. So on that basis, we have to make a decision whether we have to accept our null hypothesis or reject it. Clear, madam? Madam?
Yes, sir. What is the difference
Hello?
between interval and ratio data?
Interval and ratio data, there is only one difference. Interval, there is no origin 0, but ratio data, there is origin 0. The best example for interval data is temperature. The best example for ratio data are height, weight, all this. The main difference is that 0, the origin 0. If it is not there, it's interval data. If there is a origin 0 data, that is the ratio data. Any other?
What is
Any
dummy?
other questions?
What is dummy variable?
What is dummy variable?
Dummy variable is that we create without any purpose. That is dummy variable. Dummy variable is not essential for here SPSS.
Okay. Thank you very much for your interaction, participants. We were having a good session.
Okay.
So there was a technical problem in between. Kindly bear with us, and we regret for the inconveniences, which will be rectified tomorrow. And today was the first session, and chief guest sir, he illustriously dealt with the SPSS and how to enter the data and how to analyze the data. And tomorrow we'll be having about parametric, and day after tomorrow we'll be having about non-parametric.
First parametric analysis. Third day non-parametric.
Third day non-parametric analysis will be there. So I thank all the participants for participating, and we have nearly we had nearly more than 400 participants, and the only issue was only a technical issue, that too from due to network problem, and other things was correct. And sir has had a very good preparation, and he had a very good explanation, and all the others, most of them, nearly all of them, they have given a wonderful feedback that the session is nice, presentation is nice. Only thing is the audio was breaking in between. It will be rectified. So I, on behalf of Parvati's Arts and Science College, I thank our esteemed chief guest sir for sparing his time and energy and making this program so inevitable. And I thank all the participants for participating in the program. So we expect the same consideration for tomorrow and day after tomorrow, and make this 3-day online SPSS program very successful. So thank you. We are closing the session now, and we'll be back to you tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So thank you, Venkateswaran sir. Thanks for sparing your valuable time. And today's session was highly wonderful, and many of the teachers and scholars, they have given a wonderful feedback, and we are honored by your remarkable presentation. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, madam. My voice is clear. Hello?
Okay, we can close the session.